Hello and welcome to 4,000 Counting, brought to you by Hurricane E-Bikes. I'm Watty, this is Mark. It's a weekly roundup. It is episode 13 of said weekly roundup. And Mark, we've just had the big news. The Brit that we've been waiting for, Lewis Hook. He has signed for the Guildford Flames. And I just wanted to get your take on that. And while you're doing that, I'm just gonna we'll get some live fan reactions, see what they're saying about it. I mean, what have you got? What you got to say about Hooky? Hell of a player.
Yeah, I mean, he left off in on fire, didn't he? He had a good tear up in Austria, came back and a great points production. I can't, from the top of my head, was there something like 24 points in 26 games or something stupid like
I
that?
want to say it might have been vice versa. He might have been just over a point. Either way, it came out with his. I think we talked about it previously. Maybe me and you off air. I don't know. His elite league stats and his Austrian stats. What he was a point a game guy over the course of the season. So
Yeah.
So first reactions.
Probably a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. First reactions. Oh wow, great signing for you guys for sure. Good signing. Just keep him away from the other players' partners. I've heard he's up there with Mustakovs and a Tomcat for his morals. Great signing. Will hopefully fill the gap that Robbo filled last season. Welcome to the Flames. The Birds in Guildford are ugly anyway, so they're safe, I'd say. Norris over Hook. Nobody. Wow. So yeah, and now I'm just going to stop reading now because they're getting a little bit offensive. But I mean, off ice issues aside, on ice is where it's at, and Guildford lose Lakovic, and they go out and get Hook, arguably going to bring you more points than Lacko will, and skates like the fucking wind. He's got wheels for days. I like Cookie. When I played with him in Peterborough, I thought he was a nice lad, and obviously he's gone on to do decent things. This is going to be a big year for him. It is going to be a very big year for him. I mean, if he doesn't get this right now, then it could be curtains. If what's been said online is true. Now, I don't want to get into what he said, she said, but the reaction online kind of tells you certain things. You put two and two together and realize he hasn't played a game since February. Missed all the running with the Giants. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to put those eggs in a basket. But Guildford will be best pleased to pick up a top Brit. And I want to see how he fits in there. Big ice pad for him to skate around, uses speed. And yeah, I'm excited for him.
Definitely. I mean, I'm leaving off ice. It's none of my business. I don't wish to bring that up. We can speculate as much as we want, but we're not here to shit stir. No. So hockey wise on the ice, I mean, Guildford have picked up a great replacement. Not a replacement because they're two different styles of player, but they've upped the energy levels and the points production in that respect.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean that in the most respectful way. When I say energy levels, just a Hookie's always been absolute fucking rapid.
Kidneys riddling. You know what I mean? He's like, it's just all energy, isn't he?
Yeah. So I think, that's going to fit really well into the styles that Guildford play as well.
Yeah. Oh, shout out as well. My client Sergio just completely throw this back to the podcast we used to do with Bandy. I've never tried Gold Label, believe it or not, and I can confirm it is very, very nice. It's a bit rich for my taste. It's like 50 quid a bottle, but my client bought me it, so I was like, I normally drink Johnny fucking Black, mate. It's 20 quid a bottle. don't worry. He goes, I hope it's okay. I'm like, yeah, it's fine, mate. It's fine. It's legit. But yeah, so I'm another year older, a little bit grayer, and yeah, that was pretty much my week. Obviously, I wanted to shout out you on the podcast. New job, man. New job. So forgive us. Our content's going to slow down a little bit here for the next couple of weeks. But this is big. Like this is big for personal shit. I know we don't talk too much about personal stuff on here, but this is big for Mark. I'm pumped for him. So we just got to get through this, and he's got to learn a fucking gigantic script. I don't envy him because my ADHD would have already checked out. But yeah, fair play, mate. I just wanted to wish you all the best on here. That was all.
Yeah, thank you, and I hope to have more time soon once I get these couple of weeks out of the way.
Mate, no rush.
A lot of pressure on me at the moment, but I do miss doing shooting the shit and stuff. So
yeah,
and we've got a really good guest lined up as well. In the meantime, I have organised
Yeah, we've got
something
guests,
for
guys.
us.
We've got guests. I'm going on vacation. Mark's got his new job, so there's a couple of weeks here is going to be a little bit slow, but I think we've gave you enough content over the past few months here, and I don't think we've really taken much of a break. We are going to do our best to try and get an interview squeezed in by the end of this week to maybe release at the weekend, maybe release next week. We'll see how we go. But just wanted to let you guys know about that. And I also want to let you know you can help us out by going to ticketlab.co.uk right now and buying your charity game tickets. It is a month away, people. We are a month away. The date is looming and I can't wait. It's going to be a fun day, and we're going to raise some money for the Dodie Weir Foundation and the Royal Marsden Children's Hospital, Children's Cancer Hospital. So 2 fantastic causes. Get behind us, and we will promise you that we keep supporting good causes on 4,000 and counting. Mark, give me some more news.
Right, let's go with. We've actually got a. We were looking through.
I
these
still haven't looked
names
at the
and
list, by the way. I've still not
got to be
looked.
very honest. there's a lot of new players to the league. Let's start with Manchester Storm. They brought in a Canadian called Tyler Hinham.
Oh,
On the. Speaking of, let's drop that in there before I forget. Speaking of Manchester Storm, podcast guest and
Salute.
friend of the show, Solly is re-signed.
Of course, he has part of the furniture up there now, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's like a bit of a Jack the Lad icon around Manchester now, and I like that. It's funny because shy 15-year-old little Sally wasn't that boy. No, he's all like, I don't know. He just fits right in there, and obviously he was unfortunate. A couple of injuries here and there last year, but his play on the ice was great, and I think both Finner and Ginner, they both know what they're getting when they sign Zach Sullivan. You're getting an experienced head. He's been there around the league for a very long time. He's dependable. He can play up and down the lineup, whether you need him on the shutdown pairing or you need him on the third line, whatever it is. You can add that to your defensive end. And Manchester's new import. Let's have a little look at him there. Sorry, guys. I've been flat out at work as well. I've just try to catch up. And
the young lad, another young lad, which Manchester seem to go for. 24 years of age, is a right winger. Last season, he was East Coast with the Maine Mariners. 35
okay,
games, 11 plus 14, 25 overall. And he also had 4 games in the A with the Belleville Senators.
okay, Mark's done his homework. So as a level to be in and amongst those AHL top end CHL, we like that. I know it's only a cup of coffee in the A, but we spoke about on this podcast before. Gone are the days where they're pulling up fucking meatheads from the SP and the FP and the coast to go to the A just to punch someone's head in. Like nowadays, if you're getting called up, you're a good hockey player because you have to be, because all the clubs above you, i.e. the AHL and the NHL, they have 4 good lines of players. Everybody's a player. And to be in amongst that at 24, coming over here still at sophomore season, essentially.
Yeah.
But where did he come from before that? Was he playing NCAA or U
He
Sport?
was in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, and he put up very respectable points. Like
Okay.
I'm very excited for Storm fans. I think this is one of the best signings that they have on their roster for this
Ooh.
season. Going by what I'm looking at on there, just had a quick glance on elite prospects, and I'd be very excited with this signing.
What do we make of the fact that the Coventry Blaze, and I don't know his name, you might have it on the list here. Coventry Blaze have signed a kid out of Division 3 NCAA, and he led his team in scoring. He's put up like 156 points in 100 games in his collegiate career. But he's coming from D3. Now that's a signing I would expect from perhaps Leeds or someone in the national.
Is this
One of your top end National League players.
Yeah. Was that Alessio Luciana? Luciana? Is it this
Well,
guy?
I'm glad I didn't have to fucking try and pronounce that. Do you know what makes me sick though? Just changing the subject real quick. When I'm looking down at this elite prospects, I'm looking at Coventry Blaze, Jack Hopkins, 2004, Nathan Ripley, 2002. What? Am I that old now? Am I that old now? Like, just look at these rosters and I'm going, fuck me. 2004, when Hoppo was born, I was lining up and not next to John Craighead. going, "Whoa, you're big!" Like, "Whoa, you're a big guy, and your hair's cool as fuck." Like, your hair's so cool. And then everybody had the afros. And then, by the way, shout out to, I can't remember, a couple of the guys in Romford. When we had Ethan on, I don't know how, John Craig had come up, the hair came up. And then I was like, everybody used to wear the wigs. And then like 3 weeks later in Romford, they were wearing like the Ethan James wigs. And I'm all about that life. And if you're a Romford fan and you're going to be rocking up next year, let's see some Ethan James fucking mad throws. That would be awesome. It's just great. Like, mate, when John was there, I'm not talking 2 or 3 people. It was hundreds of people in Nottingham. It was like that. It was like being in WWE. It was fucking awesome. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, do you know when you go oh, not that I ever went, but you see it. All the fans in the stands got like the 316 t-shirts and they're going crazy. Steve Austin. Well, it was like that, but John Craighead was legit.
Oh my God.
Right. I've finished kind of vamping because I was looking up some stats here, and you are right. That is the fella. And if you look at his stats, by the way, I'm not writing a signing off for NCAA Division 3. There's some good hockey players that play in that league. Blake Sorensen, friend of the show, played with me in Basingstoke. He came out. He played NCAA 3. So in Adrian College, the 1920 season, 32 points in 29 games. Following season, he played less games, 23 points, scored more goals, same amount of assists, and finished with 36 points. Third year, 30 games, 48 points. Huge jump up in points, like 12 points in a shortened collegiate season is very impressive. And then it fell off a little bit, but he played 5 less games, 37 points, well over a point a game. And if you look, when he was in the Ontario Junior Hockey League, before he went to college, first all-star team, most improved player, most points. He then went up to college, won the championship. He then, the following season, was all-conference team and the league's player of the year in 21. The third season, first team All-American, second team All-Star, all-conference team, champion once again, and not only a divisional champion, a national champion as well. And then finally, he was in the season just prior, all-tournament team, champion once again, and a tournament MVP. I think we can class that as a fucking successful collegiate easy for me to say, collegiate career. 3 trophies,
Yes.
multiple all-star appearances, multiple individual awards. This might be the shrewdest bit of business by Danny Stewart he's ever done.
Going by what you've just read out there, yeah.
Because what people forget is, like, NCAA 3, yeah, I know some guys that play there are junk. But there is some good talent. You know, it's first lines, second lines, especially at certain schools. Some more so than others. Some schools will have a hockey program, but some schools are the hockey program. Like, the hockey program is the school, even at Division 3. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what he brings. And let's face it, how much do you think he's costing a week? 400? Maybe 4.5, 5.
Given where he's come from, I'm going to say that he's.
Well, he's a kid. That's
on...
what he's a kid. That's $750 a week or whatever, where he's coming from.
Yeah.
So he's making $3,000 a month for his first $3,000, not pounds. But he can come over and experience a bit of pro life. He could put himself in the shop window, and his stats are legit. And the other thing is, we look at, and I'd be maybe one to go, like I said, surprised to go Division 3 route. Nobody else scored those points. Like, he was playing against the same fucking players everybody else was playing against, and nobody else led the league, and nobody else was the league point scorer and champion. It was him. You can only beat what's in front of you. Danny Stewart is a boy, and he will get it out of him because he doesn't suffer a fool, Stewie, does he?
No, not at all. And he's shown he's been good with recruitment as well. I like what he brings. Yeah. And he's not going to take any shit from anyone, is he?
And shout out to him on his testimonial, and also shout out to them for doing the minute silence for Alex Graham. Nice touch, very nice touch. Although, and this is not a criticism, this is just a preference. I always found as a player, a minute's applause was more fitting for a player as opposed to the silence. You know, like if Johnny the accountant dies and he does a 50-50, minutes silence. But I always found it's like one more fucking goal for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, or one more fight, or one more whatever, where you're just going crazy for a minute and just making as much noise. And from a selfish point of view, when you're stood on the ice with ADHD, try not to move your skate, stick, or fucking. You think we have our skates sharpened on a regular. When that rink is stone silent, you just go like this with your skates. It's like the people in the nosebleeds heard that. You're just so scared of moving. Minutes are a really long time to stand still in ice hockey skates without like moving your edges, doing anything. So yeah, I'm always more of a minutes applause guy. What about you?
For me, I'm gonna say down to the family and what they think
That's a
that
good
their
shout.
person would have liked. So if they wanted, I don't know, I'll just see it like that. Whatever they feel.
Yeah.
Either way, respect.
Yeah, massive
Respect for
respect.
showing the respect, and
Yes.
yeah.
And um also all the boys, Chaz, Brams, Kim Brown, um forgive me if I'm forgetting anybody or if I've not seen it yet. But there's a lot of brand new 21 tattoos rocking around the boys right now. A lot of respects being paid to Alex, and still a lot of respects being paid to Alex outside the Bower Arena up at Ice Sheffield there. So yeah, he's still not been far from our thoughts, people, and I'm sure much the same as you. And I'd still urge just the same amount of respect that's been shown. The last 10 days have been way better here. 7 days, however long it's been a lot better. The early days were rough, and the last few days here it's been a lot better. Nobody's been like in DMs, although I did speak to Brams and he had a couple of people in his DMs, and don't think they'll be in his DMs again. Like
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be in his DMs anymore. But yeah, let's move on. Something a bit more exciting in the Elite League. Give me an exciting signing, because guys,
Okay, I'm going to give you
Mark's
a
giving me this list.
non-exciting.
I haven't seen it.
I'm going to give you a non-exciting signing,
Oh,
and that
okay.
is going to be the shock of the Elite League, or is it the shock because we saw it coming? Can you guess what I'm going to say?
No, I'm
No.
out to
Okay.
lunch. Wait there. Wait, let me think. I literally got nothing.
Okay.
Give me a
Scott
clue.
Conway
Oh fuck yeah. Well, leaving. Yeah, yeah.
leaves and goes to Trenching.
So I know Simsy's had a little bet ski online with a couple of folks here. 50 quid that he's backed by the what's it called? Not the import break.
Christmas
Well, essentially like hey,
January.
let's call it
January?
the Belfast window bye. I.e. last year, all you guys that were a fucking bag of shit and got sacked at that sort of time, and then they went on a savage run and won the treble. But my dad tells me about it. He said like back in the day, like Durham and Whitley and all that, they bring in these imports. They play the Autumn Cup, and it was like your plane ticket, bud. Like if you couldn't score, hit, fight, back check, forecheck, run a power play, play 47 minutes a night, back-to-back nights, like you were gone. But now it's a little bit different. I think Scott Conway, actually, I'm not going to overstep my mark. You know that league better than me. You know that hockey better than I. We know Trenching. I played with half of the fucking Trenching mafia down in Guildford. Milos is just pumping those guys out. I think he's got them on contracts from, I don't know, from birth. They just keep putting Slovaks into Guildford back in my day. And they all came from Trenching. Gabrick, Chara, they do the camps there. It's amazing.
I'm there in 3 weeks.
Will he be a success or no? I might be joining you, by the way. I might just be Harry Houdini, a flight out there. It's a pre-tournament game, right? It's Slovakia versus America.
I'm going. Yeah, I'm that, and also I'm going to Hoss's retirement game.
Of course you are.
With Zdeno Chara and Lidstrom, and yeah,
Lidstrom as well.
Yeah, Big Buffy's going to be there with his fishing rod.
Yeah, just fucking sitting in the balcony, just like casting lines. Do you imagine? What happened to Big Z's lip? Yeah, Buff got him with a fish hook from the top rope. That would, oh mate, I'm jealous. But yeah, by the way, guys and girls, tell me right now in the comments below if you know what me and Mark are talking about. What pre-tournament game is Slovakia versus Team USA in Trenčín on the 29th of July? You tell me right now what it is. Put in the comments. It's Mark, you told me because I didn't even realize it was on. So do you want to tell the people what it is?
Yeah, so we've got the under 18s tournament. It's juniors, of course, but I like watching all levels of
called
hockey.
The Helinka Gretzky Cup?
Lincoln Gretzky Cup, yeah.
And like this is the guys, like the next. There's 2 tournaments for kids that age. There's a World Juniors and this. And this is the real deal. So I'm that
€3 a ticket, so I'll be going to that.
How many euros a fucking ticket?
3.
What? Oh well, I guess I'll be joining you. I think I'll be joining, and
I'm gonna buy a row of seats just to lay down and just watch all the games.
Like hanging out. That would be awesome. But yeah, like we're going off on a tangent, but there is some hockey. I know we put a post out, and by the way, bravo to you guys. There's been some fantastic topic ideas. We've screenshotted them. They're on our phones, and they're in the pipeline. I love some of the ideas. We will be telling you a little bit more about Basingstoke as we go here, but sadly, it's definite silence.
Fucking failing Stoke at the moment, isn't it? Really.
Don't say that.
Sad. It's sad, mate. It's sad.
I'm gonna get that on like fucking postcards now. I live here. Oh, same as my grand sister. I lived in Tadley since 1992, and do you know like when you're a kid and you get like an envelope, you can tell who wrote it. You can always tell when Gillian had wrote it because she wrote Padley. It's been 23 years. It's Tadley. Like, tell her every time. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this season just to get started, and if that means getting out to Slovakia and watching a U18s game of essentially what we don't get the opportunity, because how many guys in those 2 rosters that we look at there become bona fide NHLers? Like 15 out of 30, 35, 40.
Yeah.
Like they become bona fide NHLers, and to get to say you see them, obviously you've had it with JJ Paterka, you've had it with
Tim Stutzler.
Thank you.
I just got two NHL signings from the last game I was at in Czech. I see maybe 10 or 15 prospects. Well, no more than that.
Here's one
a season. I probably
see
see about 30. Yeah,
here's probably one you did see, and he failed on the trade block. He failed on the waivers block. He said he's not going to report to Grand Rapids, and Detroit have put him back on waivers to terminate his contract. Philip Zadina was the 6th overall pick in 2018. Czech lad. He's fucking done.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
coming.
yeah.
He's coming to Europe. So he's got to resurrect his career because he scored 29 goals in 190 games as a 6th overall draft pick. Not good enough. Does he end up in a K?
Good shout.
Maybe try Switzerland or something. Easy life, nice money. I don't know. But yeah, like, so there's bits and pieces going on in the hockey world. But we're going to circle back. We're going to go back to the Elite League, and we're going to start rattling off some signings here.
Right, so let's go with... So we'll go with... Oh, fuck me. Glasgow Clan have just signed from Slovenia Jesenice, a goalie called Antti Kajalainen.
What did you just say?
I fucking know what. Kajalainen. Fuck, mate.
Come on. Welcome to my fucking world. This is how my brain...
finish names, mate.
Mate, this is how my brain reads English names.
This guy played for Trenčín. This is where I saw him before. Okay, Antti Kajalainen. Yeah. We'll keep it at that. I'm embarrassing myself here. Fuck.
Wait, by the way, I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time.
Give me Slovak names. I'm better.
It's nice when the butt's on the other foot there, because I remember, you know what it's like. Especially like when we're proper prepped and you're like, What? I can't wait to see you announce his name. And then you just sit there and
Yeah.
shut the fuck up and don't say anything 2 minutes. So I have to say it, and I'll be like, I can feel my brain like just having a meltdown, like absolute meltdown. But yeah, I don't know much about either. But if you're playing for Trenchard, you're a good goalie. I know that much.
They've had some great goalies. Let's have a.
They've had some very good goalies.
Bounds was there for a while.
He was
So
indeed.
actually,
There you go. There's a bit of news.
yes,
Ben
solid.
Bounds back at Cardiff. I mean, we kind of announced that I think in May or April when the season finished. I thought
Yeah.
I thought they'd announced it, but hey, our bad. Sorry. But yeah,
Let's go with another shock then. Going with Cardiff. Let's go on another one from there. This is a great pick by Dundee, and that is Josh Britton.
Oh, that is a nice signing for them. That's a nice move for them. It's good that he's still in the league and still got a job. I don't think that he is leaving Cardiff because he's a bad hockey player.
No. Cardiff are just getting stronger.
Cardiff just need to get stronger. They failed last year, and I'm sure in their opinion they probably class it as failing miserably. So they weren't really in the mix
By their standards.
Yeah, because they hold themselves to high standards, which I appreciate, by the way. I really do appreciate that. Whether you're a UFC fighter and you win by, I don't know, 3rd round knockout, but you got tagged in the 1st and the 2nd, and you got taken down and you got leg kicked, and you just weren't happy, you go, yeah, whatever. But I want to be flawless. I think Cardiff are in that. They want to be flawless. They want to be there and competing. Do you think, though, that going back to Scott Conway just real fast?
Yeah.
Do you think he styles it out for a year in Slovakia?
No.
If so, oh, okay. I didn't fucking get through that.
No, not many. I've got to be very honest with you, and you might have learned this from some of the guys I've interviewed. You see some really good North Americans go there. Apart from Slovan, who seem to look after their guys. And by the way, they've got a guy called Zach O'Brien, who is an absolute stud muffin. But yeah, you see a lot of North Americans go, and it doesn't quite work out. Not for on-ice reasons.
For off-ice reasons?
Whether it's treatment, falling out with ownership, or something like that. It seems to be a pattern.
Owners rocking up in the locker room with fucking shooters and being like, better score a hat-trick today. Fucking stay-at-home D-man, bud. Check the game notes. But
wherever he goes, if he stays, fair play to him. But if he gets opportunities to go elsewhere whilst he's in Slovakia, or if he comes back to Belfast, fair play to him because it's a huge pickup.
Yeah. Is Tedesco? I got that right. Danny Tedesco. Yeah. Is he the replacement for Conway, or is someone else the replacement for Conway? And they're going to go on a line with Tedesco. And well, if you're the replacement, if Tedesco's not the replacement for Conway, bearing in mind he was 20 points back on him last year, 26, whatever it was, but he was second. If he's not the replacement and they bring in the replacement, who's the fucking replacement? And that guy is going to be nasty.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm excited. So what do you think? Do you think Tedesco's a replacement, or do you... I don't know why, but I just don't think Tedesco's the replacement for Conway. I think they've got.
No, I think there's another little trick at this.
I think they've got an ace up there, Steve. And just when I saw it the other day on a poker tournament, a guy had, and it was heads up for the final, all the chips on the table, and a guy had pocket aces, and 2 aces come up on the 5. So he's got 4 aces. He's all in. The other guy's all in. The other guy goes royal flush. It was mad. And this is kind of what I think about this as well. Like, I think they've got that royal flush up the sleeve, and they're going to announce something, and we're going to be gobsmacked. Because I think Belfast are going to want to compete in Europe.
Yeah, for sure.
I really do think they're going to want to go and represent the club, represent the league, represent themselves, the Odyssey Trust, the foundation, the charity, everything. And we know how proud of a man Adam Keefe is. He's not going over to this fucking tournament to make up the numbers, get his ass kicked every night.
No, I wouldn't allow that to happen. No Belfast tea with Keith there is gonna
Nope.
allow that to happen.
Well, tell you what, I wouldn't want to be on fucking practice on Monday morning if I was one of those boys and you sold Kiefer down the river and lost 9-1 and fucking 8-0 back-to-back away in Europe. Guess what? That's going to be the grossest hour and 40 minutes of your life.
I also wouldn't have my foot in the gate while he's standing next to me as they're losing.
Boom! Oh, still my favorite video of 2022, 2023 was Adam Keefe the next day at practice or like a week later, whatever it was, going over to check the door was okay. And like they just got the perfect shot. It was obviously shot by like the kit boy or one of the boys from Review on the Bridge or something. It was like so unofficial, just like me capturing you doing something right now on a story. Just made it perfect because it wasn't like telegraphed, it wasn't organized, it wasn't like this Instagram stuff where everything's staged now. It was just kind of authentic. Keith come over, just show what a beauty he is, and then just fucking skates off chuckling. And I'm like, how do you not want to play for that guy?
He doesn't do anything wrong as a man. He's just got everything going for him.
A fucking man rocket.
I don't know about he's got a massive cock.
But yeah, it's just not fair, is it? It's tough as shit.
Just to rub it in your face.
Great at playing, great at coaching, good on the camera, good on the mic. Evidently, Belfast people love him. And quite rightly so. Let's move on. What else we got?
So, with Belfast again, they have an import who I quite like the look of. His name is Miles Gendron. He is dual nat Canada and USA, born in Ontario. And last season, he was split between Storhamar in Norway and the Greenville Swamp Rabbits on the East Coast.
What a name. By the way, that should be a video topic. None of you guys said this one. Team names. Wheeling Nailers is up there.
I mean, mate, guess who else he's got on his team list? He played for the Growlers as well.
Oh, the Growlers. I love that. Growlers is up there. There's some great
The River
names.
Rats.
Yeah.
Brampton Beast.
Brampton Beast, I like that. What was it? What was the old team? Memphis River Kings.
Oh yeah.
That's a hockey name. That's I love that. That's
a real inbred sounding name, man.
I'm glad I didn't say what I was about to say. I was gonna say no, I'm just not. I'm just not actually. I'm gonna fucking bypass that. My do you know, like when your intuitive thoughts almost win? I'm like, no.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, like if you shouldn't have said that, I definitely shouldn't have said what I was gonna say. But yeah, like, there's some wicked ice hockey names. By the way, guys, me and Mark haven't shot the shit, so this is the last roundup. So if we're a little bit over the board here, stick with us because hey, we're just flowing with the hockey market right now, and it's triggering memories and thoughts. And you know, I wasn't expecting to talk about Philip Sedina today, but it's just the kind of way this is going. But there is hockey news, and I like it. And for those that say the off season, and I do not mean this as any disrespect, by the way, so please don't take it as any disrespect. When I put that tweet out or the comments out, and you put off season in air quotes because of rec hockey, what? Like, imagine we were doing a Premier League podcast and we stopped at the end of the year. We've been covering Man U and Barcelona and the Champions League and Real Madrid coming to Arsenal, whatever. And we're like, yeah, we just wanted some fun things to talk about in the off season. And you went, well, guess what? My team play in the local fucking Power League 5-a-side on a Wednesday. This isn't a disrespect. I get there's some good players playing rec. We get behind rec. We love rec, but it's not the angle we're going for. And don't air quote me and say off season as if your season's a season, because it's not. It's not. It's fun. It's fun. Like it's supposed to be fun. Like the fact that everyone's jumping up on it. It's just fun. Like we held rec tournaments. They are fun. They are wicked fun. Guess what? Some great players. We sung their praises on here in the past. Guess what? Some wicked fucking drinkers. Guys can drink some pints. Guess what? There's some guys and girls that can tell some stories. But we're not a rec hockey podcast. Go follow the Wrecking Crew. They're here. Please go follow them. Good guys. doing good fits. There's guys doing rec hockey stuff. We're not stepping on toes. Imagine, like, and I'm not being big-headed, but we're arguably the biggest podcast in the UK. We go start covering rec. Well, how's that fair? Like, these guys have got their niche. I'm not stepping on toes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And plus, their knowledge is way better than mine. Way, way better. They're in the mix. I'm not in the mix. Mark lives in Austria. He's not in the mix. We're all for rec hockey. I want as many people as possible to play ice hockey. Whether you can fucking skate or whether you used to be a junior good and you used to play for England as a junior and now you just, want to get out of the office, or like someone else we're going to talk about, you want to sign for Invicta Dynamos and roll it way back, you can do that as well. But it's not slag. It's nothing offensive. But this is the off season because we're a podcast that covers professional sport within the UK. Ice hockey runs from September to April, and then it's done. So for us, this is the off season. I get that you guys' season runs from then till then. But yeah, that's not what it is. And also, 29th of July, though, there is something that I will promote for Rec. And Basingstoke, what are they? They were the Buccaneers. Barracuda. No, they were the Barracuda. Now the Buccaneers, sorry. Stewie Capitano, Big Jack standing, Paul standing, Connor standing, all the crew down there, Lewis McCracken. They got a charity game down in Basingstoke. I believe it's free entry, but you just scan a QR code, donate a little bit of money. We're all about that. So shout out those boys. Good to see the rec guys getting them involved in raising money. I think it's, I want to say maybe it's for Mind, which is something that we talk about all the time, mental health. And we've done it for Calm and we've done a bit for Mind in the past. So shout out those guys. Mark, give me some more signing news.
Right, let's go with another guy that was within the league. He has moved from Guildford to Coventry Blaze, and that is Ian McNulty.
Got a bit of fuck you about him.
Yeah.
He's got a bit of like crash your net, give you a cross check, stick you off a draw. I'm not saying he's cheap, by the way. Just saying he's got to compete. He's got
mate, I've got to tell you the name of a team he's played for as well.
Go on then.
I'm so sorry, but he played for the Columbus Cottonmouths.
Pretty fitting for this podcast. Huge. Yeah, it's pretty fitting for the old Cottonmouth podcast itself. Like, I like it. That might be a new favorite. The Cottonmouths.
The Cottonmouths.
What league is that?
Oh, I've just clicked off. Let's have a ganders. The Cottonmouths. This was in the AHL.
I want to know what the other team names were. Well, do you know when you're around the fucking table and you're on the round table and everyone's shooting?
And the Cottonmouths playing the butt plugs.
Yeah, and everyone's just like shooting shit. And you go, yeah, the Cottonmouths. Everybody just goes, yeah, I reckon we should go lunch. Yeah, so no, let's go lunch. Fucking sorted. What logo do you even use for Cottonmouths? Like a guy ripping a bong. Just a guy ripping a bong, and then like maybe you use Cheech and Chong. Just Cheech and Chong on the front of your logo, and just call it the Cottonmouths underneath. And I mean, sorry for any of you young folks that don't know who Cheech and Chong are. Get on YouTube.
Yeah,
get on YouTube, educate yourselves, come back, write in our comments, and say that was fucking awesome. I don't know. It might be a little bit lost in time. Do you reckon they'll be a little lost in time, Cheech and Chong, with these kids now?
Oh, it shouldn't be, because it's the classic and it's the best. Beats anything.
Well, there you go.
Apart from Friday.
You got knocked the fuck out. And if you haven't listened, this is not something we normally do on here. Go listen to Ice Cube on Joe Rogan. Oh my God, it's so good. So good. Ice Cube is just every bit as fucking cool as you think he's. Do you know when you're a kid? Like, I've loved Ice Cube since I was like 12. I'm in my 30s. And he comes on Rogan. He doesn't really do these things. He is the coolest motherfucker on the planet. Still, like, everything talks about. He set up a 3-on-3 basketball league to like rival the NBA in the summer. He's got all ex-pros playing. He reckons he's gonna have LeBron playing in the league. Like, dude is a straight certified killer. He talked about in the podcast, which was fascinating. He goes, everyone gave me shit for doing kids' movies. He said we did Friday. Do you know he wrote Friday and directed it?
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Because that movie, if you've never seen it, you young pups, go watch Friday, the next Friday. Like, do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny, Mark? I bet half these young listeners that have never heard of the movie Friday have heard someone say, "You got knocked the fuck out."
Oh, guaranteed. Yeah.
Might be one of the most famous movie quotes that gets quoted the most ever. Ever. Like, you watch the UFC now, boxing, and a guy gets chinned. What's the first thing you say? It's an instinct. It's involuntary. You're like, "You got knocked the fuck out," and like it's so involuntary. And they talked about it on the podcast. It was super interesting. He was like, "Did you ever think that line would be?" He goes, "No, I knew when I said that line that that was it. Like he knew." He goes, "I just hear it in the hood, see it on the street." He said, "I never heard it in a movie." And he's like, "I knew when I had that line that it was going to be so good." And then obviously it's him, Chris Tucker.
More lines than Hunter Biden there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mark with the joke.
I'm
Mark
getting
with
tracked
the...
down by the CIA.
Hey mate, they're not even asked, I don't think. But away from that, we have plenty more hockey talk. By the way, wild amount of signings going on right now, and I'm all for it. What I'm also right, answer me this, fans. Again, time for comments. Time for comments. Are you sick of teams announcing that guys aren't fucking coming back? When did this start? So you played for our team for 7 months. We need a big post to say that you're not coming back. You signed a 1-year contract. When the season signs in April, you are done. Bye. We don't need to be... Hey, if they've been there 3-4 seasons, if it's Davy Phillips in Sheffield, yeah, put a little announcement out, give the fans a head up. If you sign from U Sports to Guildford and you play 1 year in Guildford and then sign for Coventry, I don't need a press release. I don't need a press release. Stick it up your ass.
You know what they do out here? I notice with a lot of European clubs. I know Britain is in Europe, but the mainland sort of continental clubs, they have like their retaining like the guys that they release. So at the end of the season, they'll be like, okay, these guys are gone. See you later. Or if there's like a club legend or someone that's like just won a Grand Slam, then okay, fair enough. Like when they've played an important key part, but yeah, all this
I don't need.
played for 4 months now. Like,
and also, like, imagine, I don't know, the rumor mill's rife. Let's say Joe Bloggs is leaving Dundee and going to Fife. That's the rumor mill, yeah. And then Dundee at 9 a.m. put a fucking statement out saying Joe Bloggs is leaving. Just takes a piss out of like the Fife signing because we already know. Yeah, he's leaving there to go to your club. It was like when Belfast put out about Scott going to Scott Conway going to Trenchard. Yeah, we know. Like we didn't know he was going to Trenchard, but we knew he wasn't coming back. He went on Twitter and fucking crucified referees, and then signaled out Scottish referees for some special treatment. That was 2 months ago. Like we knew he wasn't coming back. I don't know. I'm not big on this. Everything needs an announcement.
no, you need to reserve that for the guys that have like really played a huge part.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, Scott Conway is one of those guys.
Yeah, he is.
Before you start atting me, he was just an example. He is one of those guys you would put that presser out for. You would. But like Belfast put a presser out this week. Guy on their team that I never even fucking heard of. Got treble last year. I've never even heard of this dude. I don't need a press release for that guy. Like I don't think he featured in any of your like top moments of the entire season. I don't need a press release that. Really don't. Maybe it's just me. Let me know in the comments below if I'm being a jerk or being a cantankerous? That's what they say, cantankerous old bastard. But maybe I just like the old school a little bit more.
Agreed.
Also, it's great. It's great when you wake up on a Monday morning and go, I don't know, Aaron Nels signed for Basingstoke Bison. Without Swindon have already diluted it, going, by the way, Aaron's leaving. This is it. It takes a bit of sting out of it. It takes a bit of zip out of it. It takes a bit of excitement out of it. Afterwards, if you want to come out and go, right, as you've seen, Aaron Nell signed for Basingstoke. We want to wish Aaron the best of luck. He's been our all-time top point scorer. He scored X amount of goals on this, and he won X amount of trophies. And sing his praises, do YouTube videos, do it all. 100%. Let's stop taking the sting out of announcements by announcing that the guy's already left. He was on a 1-year deal, which is a 7-month deal. Of course he fucking left. I don't get it. Is that just being too black and white, analytical, looking straight at it? Or do you think, do you think fans will feel the same?
I think you're right. It definitely holds merit. You know, I think it shows like more respect for a player that sort of worked their ass off for a club and served a club for a long period of time, and then you get someone that's maybe signed in January, plays a couple of months, and then's gone. Like I don't.
Yeah, like okay. Here's an example. I rock up in Peterborough. I play 3 months, 4 months. Get on with the fans, whatever. Great, yeah. Obviously, what is leaving? Cool. Do I deserve the same fucking spiel that Robert Ferrara or James Ferrara that just played 600 games? Do I fuck?
Absolutely
Not
not.
a chance. I don't deserve that. Do I deserve a dignified and like respectful press release? Yes, of course I do. I'm professional. I'm playing for your organization. I fought for your organization. I scored for your organization. I got injured for your organization. I do deserve respect. But it doesn't need to be on a pedestal.
No, just thank you for your contributions and your efforts with the Phantoms. All the best for the future.
That's great. That's professional, and it's great because, by the way, by the time it gets to these press releases, anyone that's important, let's say, I don't know, Lewis Hook or who else has left? Scott Conway. We use them for examples. These conversations I had with Adam and Steve months ago. The conversations that really matter, they've already happened. Who's this? Who are these statements to appease? To appease the fans? The fans have known it's been going on for months. So it's just, I don't know, it's just a weird thing that you don't really see in any other sport.
Yeah.
Maybe you do, and I just don't pay that much attention. But
there's one thing I do like with announcements though, and that is, I think it was, what was her name? Kim of Phantoms when she stepped down, when she moved away. And okay, not on ice.
Don't do this to me. She's my friend. Oh. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Michelle,
there we go. Fuck, who am I on about? Kim?
I don't know. You just that's why you had me sinking there. But yeah.
But like an announcement for something like that, long servant of a club,
10-year being a physio.
Yeah,
1000%. Shout out to that bad bitch on her wedding, by the way. She just got married. She kept me together in Peterborough. I was so injured the whole time I played there. If it wasn't seeing her 3 times a week, I would have been fucked. She'd be like texting me, "What, are you on the way?" But yeah, I've kicked everyone off the massage bed. They should have me on the table like, I was so injured that year, and she honestly kept me together. So yeah, I'm big on the press releases for those people. Mark, let's start rattling through these because you got early start, man.
Yeah, right. So we've got from Nice in France, signing for the Manchester Storm, Evan Weininger. We have, who else have we got? There's so many players signing. Another Manchester Storm import signing, American D-man Tommy Patron from the Iowa Heartlanders. Let's have a quick look at this guy.
Right. While Mark's doing that, guys, I would normally edit this, but I need to pee. Mark's going to tell you about this guy while I pee.
Yeah, so I'll wrap on these two Manchester Storm signings. So we have the man Tommy Patron, dual nat with Italy. He's just out of where he split his time with the Toledo Warley and the Iowa Heartlanders. 32 games for Toledo, 27 for Iowa, 4+4 and 8 for the first team respectively, and 2+6, also 8 points. So not bad. A bit of NCAA experience, half decent points, but again, this is just points. We have no idea what he's like on the ice. Could turn out threadable. Spell in Sweden as well with Turinge SOSS, where he wore the C. got 29 points in 38 games. So moving on to the next in the last, and that was Evan Veninga. Evan Veninga, Canadian, 26 from Saskatoon. And again, he's played in Slovakia like other guys that we're seeing. So this netminder last season was in the Magnus with Nice, where he 2.8 goal average and a 911 save percentage in 36 games. And before that, he was in Slovakia with Banska Bystrica and in the Del 2 with Selba Vodfe. And yeah, great stats in Slovakia. Just reading out these names.
I'm glad you left me out.
25
left me out this section.
25 in Slovakia, got 0.95 percentage and goals against average of 2.30, very respectable. And in the Del 2, 0.904 percentage, but 4.21 goals against average in 11 games. So
But
they're your
we
two
also
signings
saw, though,
for Manchester.
We also saw,
Yep.
though, what it takes to make a difference when Belfast gassed their goalie last year and his stats were fucking good. They were good and they sacked him, and then they brought in Besco, and guess what? His were better. So, like, it's so difficult to read off stats because you go, oh,
Yeah.
he was 921, he was 92 this, he was 904. And whilst we all accept that as being a very, very good goalie, there's a difference between that and 941, 946. Shut up, 948, 971. And you're like, this is the haves and have-nots. And without knowing too much about this guy, I think the team, and it's not a hot take. This isn't me like, I know it all. It's really not. Team with the best goalie probably wins the league.
That's normally how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, normally
Look at Cardiff with Bounds.
Sport in general, mate. Like, you look back to like Peter Schmeichel
Petr
Peter Cech. What a great example.
Seaman, old Spunky, was
Old Spunky
with
Seaman.
Arsenal.
Yeah, until Ronaldinho spanked him in front of the fucking nation. Just pulled his pants down, got his paddle out, and just whacked him on the arse in front of the entire nation. That happens to good goalies. We saw it happen to Besco. Besco got his fucking pants pulled down, got smacked on the arse. They ended up winning, so it was irrelevant. But it could have been a damn sight worse. We'd be talking about it a damn sight more had they not won. It's moments, and goalies are notorious for moments. I want you to cast you guys back to London Knights circa 2000, maybe 2001. Trevor Robbins. I watched this man play when they played the Russian Red Army team at the Docklands in London. He was a straight murderer. Like, when you talk, I've been on practices with Stevie Lyle, yeah, where you cannot score a fucking goal. Just that simple.
Yeah.
Just that simple. Like, not today, bitch. Not today. Not today. You're not fucking scoring today. And guess what? You ain't scoring today. Not just you. The import that scored 60 tucks that year, he's not scoring. The guy that got 45, he's not scoring. You play against some goaltenders sometimes, and you'll see it in the NHL more so than anywhere, because these guys are just not only a different breed, they're a different size, they're just a different athlete, they're a different specimen. When you play against a goaltender who's on, there's and Tyler Bescovani might be the finest example of that goalie in the Elite League era, in my opinion. He is the definition of a winner.
Yeah.
Right, Mark. Let's fast forward because
so we'll finish off with Glasgow Clan. We've possibly missed a couple of signings. Apologies. We will get back on that. So one of the talks of the national, and that is the Glasgow Clan have not lost. He wasn't signing back anyway. John Dunbar signs for the Solway Sharks.
Whoa,
What do you think to that?
Dun,
That
dun,
is a
dun.
pickup.
That's fucking deserves a bit of a drum roll. Think of like Will Ferrell is he's out the front in Old School and he's working on the car. Now we gonna keep that on the down low. Hey Frank, like what the fuck? This was way over there, and as it stands, this is the signing of the off season. Holy shit! Look out, Solway. Woo! I know our boy there, the owner, Johnny Strange, when he's not jet setting and fucking high cruising down the Clyde, he's pumping the 4,000 tires.
Yeah,
Mate, you got our back, we got yours, and we
All do.
love what you're doing there, and this is above expectations. Also, I want to take a moment to shout out another. He hasn't made it on the show yet, but friend of the show, Peter Gapper.
Yeah. 120 points.
Sadly leaves the Solway Sharks, and I don't know if he's leaving the league. I don't know if anybody else is going to take a chance on him, but as a guy, the boys love him. As a player, a weapon, ripped Stratton apart on his own in the finals. That man deserves a mention. There's a guy that deserves a mention on the way out the door.
Yeah.
And shout out to him. Straight savage, straight shooter, great guy, fucking drunken beauty. Some of the, by the way, he might have sent me the best drunken messages of any player I've ever played with or against after Coventry. I wish I could just share them on here because you just, and then it's not that. My favorite is the, hey Waddy, the next day, like you can hear that. Do you know when you can hear a tone of a message? Do you know, like you read, hey Waddy, just what your fucking so good, bro. Don't even worry about it. Like, made my night. It's like, yeah, just a beauty. And I think the Stars organization would be a sadder place without him. Like, and I kind of feel that they feel that as well. We've heard nothing but respect from Homo, from Spud, from Ross, from any of the guys that we spoke to within that Solway organization. They have never had a fucking bad word to say about that man. So shout out Gaps. Go get yourself a new job, son. Go rip it up. And we're rooting for you big time. Go and get it done. With the signing,
Steel dogs written all over him as a signing.
Ooh,
I could be really wrong there.
They've already signed Biz.
I could be wrong.
They've already signed Biz and Volks. He does have Steel Dogs written all over him now that you mention it.
I could be wrong. I just have a feeling
you could be fucking right. And by the way, Steel Dogs. But this is a bad thing about our relationship with Steel Dogs, right? Because we do have the good, close relationship. I'm not checking in with Ali right now. I don't care who he signs. So I don't know. So this is genuine. When Mark says that, I'm like, oh, yeah. We don't know anything. I promise you, we don't.
Nothing.
We really don't.
I was speaking with Jane and Roger last week, but...
No, we could. We could send a message right now and say, who's your third import?
Yeah.
But we're not. We want to have some fun this off-season as well. Like Peter Gapper's a fucking Steel Dogs. I like it, Mark. I really like it. Like I fucking really, really like it. He's Volkanovski 2.0. Volkanovski. I'll just turn him into like the Rusky there. Sorry, mate. Volkanovs, not Volkanovski. I like that though. That's got a ring to it for a creator player game on NHL. Volkanovski.
Like an explosive forward.
Explosive little Australian midget that just happens to be battering everybody in the UFC right now. But yeah, like Volkanovs, everybody was like, you're bringing this guy out of this league. He's doing this. And then, well, was there a better fucking second import in the league last year? I don't know. Was there? As a number 2 guy? I think he's more than earned his right to maintain to be a number 2 guy. And Gapper is your 3rd guy. Do you know what Sheffield have that other teams don't? They have Ben Morgan, Lewis Bell, Tim Smith in defense. They don't need an import. They don't need an import D-man. They have so much experience back there already. Don't necessarily need it. They could go 3 forwards.
Yeah.
Obviously, before Alex passed, He had left the Dogs, so that's a fucking massive hole to fill.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would look at would they replace him with someone like Gapper? Because this is all the mental gymnastics that's going on in the off season. Clubs are going, right, well, maybe we bring an import in to, because Alex's import numbers, he had 80 points last year. There's no Brits on the market to replace 80 points. So what do? You go back to the drawing board and go, well, we're very, very good defensively. We're so good defensively. We don't need an import D man. We get by. Where do we get a Brit to replace Alex's 80 points? Well, we don't, so we get an import. And Peter Gapper could be that import.
Yeah. Have to wait and see.
Okay, give me some
see
more.
where he actually ends up.
Sorry,
Right,
mate.
another one that we've really it's been some huge signings. So actually, one to sort of rival the Dunbar, we don't know yet, but Leeds Knights signed Matthew Barron, who last season came out of the East Coast. He started the season with the SPHL side, the Evansville Thunderbolts. 22 games, 7+9, 16 overall. Then he had a little spell at Indy Fuel in the East Coast and the Trois Rivieres Lions. Where he got 39.
Rivers. Shout out to our friend Mr. Jean Rusty.
So 39 games, 6+5, 11 points in the coast. And with the Indy Fuel, 4 games, 3 points.
Right.
So I'm really looking forward to what he brings.
I like the signing. I've always told you, cats, on this podcast, how big the fucking brass balls are on Ryan Aldridge. The guy's got fucking balls that you would not believe. He just sacked one. Well, last year, the best, Zachary Brooks. The best
Zachary
import in the
Brooks,
league, if not one of. Like, Ryan Aldridge could have had a really easy summer this summer. He could have brung those two guys back. No one would have hated him for it, would they? If he brung Zach and Jake back?
No, like people were gutted when they were announced as not being back.
We called it all summer long. Like, you go, well, you're not changing anything. The fact that they are changing, Jesus. They obviously see more upside in these guys than Zach and Jake. Fucking hell. That's some upside. If they got upside on them at this level, the numbers that you just rolled out, factually, what? Just a point a game?
Yeah. And just the fact that you're actually replacing these guys with one of the guys has just come out the East Coast.
Yeah, straight.
Like, that says everything you need to know about Brooks and
am I right in
Vitalski.
thinking? Am I right in thinking the secondary import is 28?
Let's have a look.
So they've I want to say one's 24, one's 28. They maybe look at just adding a little bit more veteran leadership to the roster.
Josh Adkins was the next forward announced by Leeds, and he's from. Did he play in the French league?
Yes, he did, and his numbers were good in France too.
28 years old.
Yeah, he is 28. So he played in France too, point a game guy in that league. And back in the day, France 2 was always kind of compared to the EPL. That was like the window. Now, if you're getting a EPL level import now at this level, you're onto a winner.
Good business. Yeah.
Yeah, very good business. And especially if it's a good EPL import. Don't get me wrong, there was EPL imports that came over and they were flops, but that would be the same as any league. But I'm talking about the good guys. I'm talking about picking up a guy like fucking Seski or Pink out that French league. That would do wonders for your roster. So I like Ryan Aldridge's recruitment. I want to know though, and you'd be dumb as a GM in this league if you're not blowing the fucking hinges off of those two boys' phones right now, saying, well, if you're not going back there, why don't you come and join us? Why don't you come join us? Hey, I'm all for taking gambles. I've said it on this podcast before. Up for taking a gamble. But when Zach Brooks comes on the table, no gamble necessary. Absolutely zero gamble necessary. You go, what do you want? We can either do it or we can't. And if you can do it, do it. If you can afford it, do it. You know what you're getting. Gives me Peterborough vibes. He'd be a motherfucker to play against in there every week.
I don't think they've announced any imports, have they?
Nope.
Oh, or that wherever Zachary Brooks goes, someone is getting one hell of a play. He's got it all.
Either
Plays
way,
with a bit of an edge.
if they don't come back, we've been entertained by both those players, so shout out to them.
Yeah, love it.
Do you know when you see some imports come over there a bit shit and it kind of ruins the ambience? Those guys are not. They worked hard. I went to watch them regularly in Basingstoke, and I saw them in I believe Slough as well. Entertaining ice hockey players to watch. I pay my money to watch them. Good players. Sorry, Mark, I interrupt you there. I got to carry away.
Okay.
Away.
No Eric Bockners or whatever then.
Yeah, but then you play against him, he scores 6 goals. You're like, what the fuck just happened? Can't even skate. The other guy, who's the other guy? MK sign, Wicklander, couldn't even fucking skate.
Oh,
got 97 points that year. Fucking phenomenal. You give him the puck in the slot. Couldn't skate, man, but his hands were phenomenal. And I would love to get Wiki on here because my boy Ross Bowers, my boy Jonas Hoog, everybody talks about him like he's the guy. I think he actually owns Hoogie's team that he's playing for now in Sweden.
Oh, really?
We're going to be getting Hoogie on, guys and girls, and he's going to be telling us about. It sounds like they're trying to do like the old FA Cup story with this team. They've bought a team in the 4th division, yeah. They smoked it last year. Got Hoogie getting like 180 points or whatever. Like the team's legit, but they're all just pals. It's like Power League for them. So they meet up, drink pints, and then dummy teams. But turns out they're pretty fucking good at ice hockey, and they got promoted, and then they're going to get promoted again probably. And then it's going to be like a proper organization in the 2nd Swedish league. And Wiki and all those boys are going to own it. I don't know if Smalls and who else is involved. We need to be there for that ride. For the 4,000 encounter. Yeah. Right. But Mark, give me some more signings because we need to wrap this up.
Yeah, I just want to announce a departure actually, and that's I know we spoke about announcing him. Actually, I feel he deserves it, and that's Corey Goodison, who's left the Telford Tigers.
Yeah, he's a piece to fit for them, and interested to see. I think they bring an import D-man in there and probably take a slot.
Yeah, that'd be a good move.
Price re-signing for them, another young guy. Obviously, I think we got both Price boys there, both brothers, and where does Corey end up? I think this is this is why I like when we get good Brits on the board. Who takes that gamble? Who tries to fill that slot? Who tries to take that piece? Who takes the gamble? I think he maybe goes to Hull and joins Matty Davis. My only problem with this is I don't know where Corey's logistically located. Is he worthy? And this isn't a disrespect. Is he worthy of a housing spot? These are the other things you have to remember. Like a Tyler Plu's down in Swindon. Yeah, he's worthy of a housing spot. 100%. If you only got 5 housing spots and you have to give one to a Scot, one of them's Tyler Plu's, yeah, I get it. But these are the mental gymnastics that these owners in the National League have to do. Does he warrant that? If not, does he... I don't know where he goes. Telford needs to start doing it, so
we'll see. With the like we were saying earlier, when people announce there's not re-signing, it kind of adds it to the speculation list of who goes where. But touching on, let's go with a guy that you mentioned the whole Seahawks. We have Reese Edwards, who's left the Widnes Wild and has joined the whole organization.
I do not know anything about him, so I will not do him the disrespect of trying if I can make shit up. I genuinely don't know anything about him, but what I do know is Matty Davis, my boy, he's not bringing a dud in there.
Absolutely not.
So I'm excited to see what he brings. Let's move on. What else have we got?
So Leeds Knights also signed an import D-man.
Sorry.
Olivier Arsenault.
Yeah. French Canadian.
So there's again, it's going to be a solid. I don't even have to look at the stats to know that this is going to be.
Both the hair boys are back as well. So busy week for Leeds. Busy week for Leeds. Good week. Very good week, I think.
Good week, yeah.
I think it's a very good week to be a Leeds Knights fan. Show the boys the respect on the way out the door. But Ryan Aldridge, he's not satisfied with 1. He wants 2. And he's done bits on the market, and shout out to him for doing that and having the fucking brass neck and the brass balls to go on and do that. What a savage. Some interesting ones in the league below. Though,
Sorry,
Mark.
that was to sorry, signed for Solway, I believe.
Who?
The Olivier Arsenault
Oh,
signed for
okay, we
Solway,
got mixed
not for
up.
Leeds. My
Yeah,
apologies. Yeah, it was Noah McMullen for Leeds,
yeah,
Josh
there you go.
Adkins, and who was the guy I said earlier?
No, that was it. That was it.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, Matthew Barron.
I'm excited though for the league below because I touched on it. Invicta Dynamos, they've signed Dan Scott. They've signed Ollie fucking Bronneman. He's still going to be rocking up in his Nike TNs to the rink like a boss. And he will be that league's Vanny Antonov if he doesn't turn up used and he doesn't turn up fat. Look out that league below because he's going to rip it a new one. Danny Scott, obviously stepping down due to work commitments. Believe he went to do his fireman training last year. Successful, obviously, because he's a straight beast. Shout out to those two boys, though. Excited for them. Also excited for Kane Russell. He's moved down from Bristol. He's gone to Solent. He's back home. It's where he started before he came to Basingstoke. He's going to do bits down there, and he's just. I imagine he's just holding fire for 1 year until Basingstoke is or isn't, and then he's going to make a decision on his future career. We got anything else, Mark?
I just want to say, Ollie, we've got to go back to that. That is a story. Before I joined behind the scenes on the podcast, I was listening to every episode, and I think when you'd asked a question about like who was one of the best players in training, who was one of the best players that never went on to do
The
big
best player,
things,
by the way. The best
and
player.
everyone said Ollie. Everyone.
By the way, it's not even close. You think Kieran Brown's good and fucking Liam Kirk's good? Ollie Bronneman was better than at their age, and it wasn't even close.
And this is coming from a large, like literally every.
Well, we bum them boys up. We love them. Ollie Bronneman, he's my age. Well, he's a year younger than me, and I had the pleasure of playing on the line with him. It's a fucking dream. There's a liney. It's a dream. Guess what? When you're open, he beats two guys and puts a fucking putt back door to your stick. If you're not open, he beats two guys, goes backhand shelf. He will beat three guys out of a corner because he has pucks in positions that you cannot get the puck. You got to remember, he played for GB 16s or 18s or whatever, and he moved to Switzerland. His dad's Swiss. His mum's sadly no longer with us. May, God rest her soul, love her to bits. Pete Rodman, straight savage guy, Swiss, the most fucking Swiss guy you've ever met, like stereotypical Swiss guy. Just like he looks Swiss, like just talks you Swiss. Ollie moved out there and made the Swiss fucking national team. Was playing the U18s against all the best players in the world. First line Swiss. He went from Invicta Dynamos to first line Swiss national team. You don't just do that if you're not a special human. He's so good at ice hockey, it's scary. And he's had time off. So what? He comes back in any sort of shape. We saw Ashley Jackson, Andy Smith, and guys like that done in their return. You thought they were good?
Yeah.
Couldn't carry sticks to the fucking rink. I can't. He's my favorite British player ever. Not even close. Like the players I played with, not even close. Not even close to being as good as him.
That's a big statement as well.
Joe Greener, phenomenal.
Yeah.
John Dewar, phenomenal. Lee Jameson, phenomenal. Not even close. The list goes on. Mark Richardson, phenomenal. Not even close. Talent-wise, and ask any of them as well. They will tell you. They were there. They saw it. Guy was a sick joke. Turn up to the rink in women's pink TN trainers because blokes all had the same ones. He's like, I'd have fucking women's ones. You turn up pink TNs. TN hat. All right, bruv. Ali G special. Like, nicest guy on the planet. And his old man, his mom, and everybody. Just a great family, good hockey family. And I'm worried for defenses in that league.
How strong is that league getting, though? Look at the announcements being made in the one. That is a really good competitive league.
So happy. we're almost getting, and this might be a video in itself, Elite League. Oh, sorry, restart that. Super League, BNL, EPL. We're almost getting to that stage where it's Elite League, National League, National One. Almost. Keep bringing guys at Dan Scott, Ryan Watt, Vanny Antonoff, I know he's left, fucking Ollie Bronham, whoever. Bring guys like that into a third league in the country. You can have a good third league.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Mark, give me some more because I got to go because I need to eat.
I think we are there.
Romeo done.
I think so.
Done.
Nolan Gardner, last one then I think on here is Nolan Gardner, University of Windsor to Solway.
I don't know anything about this, so I'm not going to profess to do.
Nolan Gardner, quick insight for you then, just a quick one. 24 years of age, U Sports. Yeah. Great signing. 11 points in 25 last season. 3+8. That's going to convert well. And he was in the OHL with the Ottawa 67s as a junior. So
I want to just say to some of the fans out there that might look at those stats in U Sports. You go 25 games, 11 points. Remember, yeah, in the Heineken League, 3-2, 2-1, 1-0. That's a regular score. And the fact that there's only 25 games, if 3 games are 1-0 and 2-1 and fucking 5 games are 3-2 and fucking 4-3, there are a whole bunch of goals getting scored. Defenses are solid. It's different levels, and defensively different levels. Remember that, because the transition is completely different. We play a much more open, fast-paced, gung-ho style, if I want to say it. And guess what? We're not as good coached as U Sports. We don't have 4 days a week to work on D zone. We have an hour and a half twice a week if you're lucky, maybe an hour twice a week. These guys have ultimate lack of games, but ultimate training every day. And games make you better, but guess what? Running through the same fucking system drill over and over and over, much the same as Mark's gonna have to do with his script he's got, over and over, and it's boring. When you're doing it, it's the most fucking boring thing on the planet. But guess what? On Saturday, on game day, when it comes to showtime, that thing that you've done 9,000 times, you just done 9,001. It's just part of your DNA. Same as Mark, he's going to learn this fucking thing inside out. So when he talks about it in front of people, it's just, it's going to be bread and butter. And it's the same, no matter what industry you're in, guess what? Reps wins the day. And that's what you get at U Sports. That's what you get NCAA. That's what you get that we don't get here. You get ice time every day. You're on practicing every day. It's not all game situations, so you can afford to get better. You can afford to make mistakes. They're doing bits. Solway Sharks doing bits. Howard doing bits. Everybody's doing bits. I like it. We're going to see more signings coming thick and fast now. We're getting into July. Hopefully, we'll have some more content for you. But if not, we will see you in a week or so. We're going to enjoy some time, family time. Mark's going to learn a script and then try and tell me about it. And I'm going to learn nothing. I'm going to try, though. I'm going to try for Mark. I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's going on in Mark's life, so I'm going to try. But guys, we wish you the best. If we happen to see you before, fantastic. If not, make sure you go to buy a coffee. Buy us a coffee. That would be really, really helpful. You know, prices are rising. I worked it out today. This podcast costs us £119 a month. You guys, it cost you free. So a little coffee every now and again, a little fiver, a little tenner that you won't even notice. To us, it make a big difference.
That's the host to you guys, just to give you an idea where the money goes.
Also, and also, you want us to put out more content? Guess what? The platform on Buzzsprout that we pay fucking 25 quid a month for, we only have X amount of hours. How many times in the group chat, Mark? Because we've just been smashing content. We're getting trouble. Producers like, you have 8 minutes left. We're like, it just renewed yesterday. He goes, yeah, but you just released 7 interviews in a row. We can only do so much. Guess what? If you guys want to chuck in a little bit on Patreon or buy me a coffee, whatever it is, whatever platform, it does really help. And that might mean that because anytime after our allotted allowance is extra dollars, I think it's $5 an hour. So let's just say we got to pay an extra, we want to put an extra 10 hours of content out a month. It's going to cost us $50. What's that? 35 quid. We've been self-funding this for a very long time. We're very lucky to have Hurricane on board, who have now helped out with all these little teething issues. But we have a time issue. We both have jobs, and we love this, and we want to bring you content. But the more help we can get with it, the better. Don't want to be on the scrounge, because I'm not on the scrounge. I'm just saying, like, respect.
It will help to be able to give you more.
But just respect what it is, because we're going to give as much of our time as we can. But obviously, time costs money. And we've done a lot. I mean, myself personally, I haven't missed an episode since 2019 when we started this fucking thing. Not one. Not a live stream. Not a fucking Instagram live. Nothing. For a lot of time. Put it this way. If I was doing as many hours for this podcast, getting paid my PT money, I'd retire already. But I'm not. So a little bit of help here. We self-funded along the way. Brings you guys content, gets you closer and nearer to anybody than ever before in the UK game. Help us out. Help us out by helping our charities out, because that's the number one. Go to buy me a ticket. No, don't do that. That's not even the right thing. Go to ticketlab.co.uk, buy a ticket, and help us out by helping out Dodie Weir Foundation and the Royal Marsden. That's the real winners here. And that's what we want to shout. Just want to finish this podcast again. Another episode dedicated to Alex Graham, man. He's not been at my thoughts for a fucking hot second here. And I don't know, still sad, still real sad, but it's another episode. And once again, dedicated to my boy, Alex Graham. I'm thinking of you, my man. And yeah, still don't feel good. But yeah, guys, please do subscribe if you're not already. It doesn't take 2 seconds. You just hit that button right at the bottom there. Do it. Leave a review, comment, like, subscribe. It makes a huge difference to us. Might not take 2 seconds out of your day, but when we're trying to do this grind thing here and bring you, put it this way, the more higher up the algorithm is, the more we can spread the message about UK hockey. And that's what we're trying to do. And we're going to be doing that very soon in an Ice Hockey UK versus EIHA. We've got a what the fuck is going on with Basingstoke video. We've got just about every kind of video, thanks to you guys and your fantastic suggestions. So if you do have a suggestion, put it in the group below. Message Toner, whatever it's called. I'm checking out.